There is a shift in consciousness happening on the planet right now, and part of this shift involves us to work on our vibration. We have to individually work on raising our vibration to higher frequencies, and as we do that for ourselves, we help the collective consciousness raise too. Because we're all connected as one, there's the law of one. And so raising your own vibration is how you help humanity and how you help the planet, because you're helping the collective consciousness raise. So I wanted to make this video 12 signs you're raising your vibration to higher frequencies as a way to give you a bit of a roadmap or an indication of where you're at on your journey. So we're going to get straight into it. Number 1 is enhanced emotional state. So you may find you're experiencing more joy, peace, love in your life. You may be experiencing a sense of inner calmness. And that's because the higher frequencies are the higher emotions, the elevated emotions. So if your emotional state has elevated, then that is an obvious sign that you've raised your vibration. The second sign is heightened intuition and synchronicity. So your intuition may be sharper, and you may be experiencing more synchronicities or meaningful coincidences in your life. And that's because you're becoming more in tune with spirit. So when you're in the higher frequencies, that's when you're becoming more in tune with spirit, and you're coming out of the ego mind. The ego is what keeps us in the low negative frequencies. And when you're operating from the ego, you don't have that connection to spirit. It's almost like the ego blocks it off and gets in the way. So if you're experiencing, enhanced intuition and you're noticing more synchronicities, which is communication from spirit, you're being more in tune, that is a great sign that you're raising vibration. The third sign is improved relationships and connections. So you may have relationships that are more harmonious and authentic. You may be attracting people in that are a similar vibrational match, a higher vibrational type people, friendships, relationships. And that's also, again, when you're operating in the low frequencies and you're operating from the ego mind, the ego creates a lot of problems in our relationships with other people. So when you're in these higher frequencies, you're more in tune with spirit, you're out of the ego, it's naturally just going to improve your relationships with other people. The fourth sign is increased energy and vitality. You may notice that you feel more energetic, motivated, and inspired to pursue your passion and goals. When you operate in those lower frequencies, your energy is depleted. You don't have that same level of energy and motivation. So that's another great sign that you're raising your vibration to higher frequencies. Sign number 5 is shifts in perspectives and beliefs. And this is because as you raise vibration to the higher frequencies, your perspective towards reality becomes a lot more positive. And so we have Dr. David Hawkins' scale of consciousness, which he calibrated this scale using kinesiology muscle testing. And the interesting thing about this scale is you have all these different states of consciousness, which are all different levels of emotions. And each level, you perceive reality differently. So you will perceive the same situation completely different at each level. And the higher you go up, the more positive your perspective on reality becomes. So for example, let's say there's a homeless man and someone's operating in fear. So they see this homeless man, the type of perspective and the way their thinking is like, oh no, this homeless man might try and rob me of my money. Like they're in fear of the homeless man. They might try and steal my money to buy their drugs, Whereas if you were operating in, let's say, a higher frequency, like we'll say unconditional love, instead of looking at that homeless man in fear and having that perspective, you look at the homeless man with unconditional love and like, this is a human being. And I'd love to know their story. I'd want to go talk to them. And, maybe you do go and talk to them and say, hey, how you going? And just having a chat. And because you realize that this is another person and this person does have a story and, and so your perspective towards the homeless man is coming from a much higher level, So that's what's really interesting when I learnt about Dr. David Hawkins' work is literally each of these levels, your perspective is completely different on the same situation. So if you notice that you're having, more positive perspectives towards reality, more positive beliefs about reality, that's another great sign. Now, sign number 6 is you have a greater resilience to stress. So you may find that you can handle stress and challenges more gracefully and with a sense of inner strength. So things just aren't getting to you like they used to, or getting to you like when you're operating in those lower frequencies. Because when you're in the lower frequencies and the negative emotions, it is a lot easier to be stressed, to be triggered, to be reactive to the environment. So if you find yourself being a lot more chill, a lot more calm, things just don't get to you like they used to, you don't get stressed out as much, that is another great sign you're raising your vibration. Now, number 7 is a desire for personal growth and self-improvement. So when we have a spiritual awakening, we understand the importance of raising vibration. We also realize that we have a lot of inner work to do and a lot of healing that needs to be done. We're kind of carrying around a lot of emotional baggage that's weighing us down into the lower frequencies. And so we start that journey of the inner work, the shadow work, and the healing to start cleaning up the energetic field so that we can raise our vibration. So it becomes a natural part of our life. And you may find that you just have this urge to continue to evolve and just better yourself, like just keep working on yourself until you become the best version. And I know that for me, like it's become part of who I am, doing personal development. Like, I don't know if you'd call it a hobby, but it's kind of like a hobby, And sometimes you may even want to do more personal development type work and not even really be doing your other hobbies. Even though those hobbies may still be important to you at this point in time, they may not be important and you may be, putting your time and energy more into that personal development. Now, number 8 is a greater sense of purpose. So you may feel a deeper sense of clarity around your life's mission, your purpose, and your goals. And that's because your higher self, which operates in the higher frequencies and it's also connected to your soul, knows your purpose. And so as you raise vibration, you become more aligned with your higher self. You can receive communication from your higher self. And so your higher self starts communicating to you your purpose or your life mission. And so it's so awesome when you learn to tune into your higher self like that and just be able to channel guidance from your higher self that helps you on this life's journey. So that's another great sign. Now, number 9 is enhanced physical well-being. So you may notice that you are physically feeling really good. And that's because when you're in these higher frequencies, your body is a lot healthier. When you're operating in low frequencies, like most people are, people operating in fear or maybe anger and resentment, these lower frequencies create a lot of health problems for us. It causes our body, like when you're operating in stress and fear and in these low frequencies, it causes the body to be knocked out of homeostasis. And when that happens, when it's knocked out of balance like that, that is when disease and illness starts showing up in the body. So a lot of our health issues, they're not coming from aging. Like we get told that, oh yeah, you age, you get older, your health just naturally declines. It's not actually how it works. It's more about suppressed negative emotions in the body, operating in these lower frequencies, operating in survival mode, being stressed. So if you notice that, your physical well-being has improved, that's because you're out of those negative low frequencies that make you sick. Now, number 10 is reduced negative self-talk. So the type of thoughts that you get is based off your emotional state. If you're feeling those negative low frequencies, you're feeling those negative emotions, It's going to cause you to have those negative thoughts, right? It's the ego that keeps us in those negative low frequencies. It's the ego that creates the negative fear-based thinking, that negative self-talk. So when you start raising vibration, operating in the higher frequencies, the types of thoughts that you have will change. When you are operating in positive emotions, you will naturally have positive thoughts as a side effect. So that's another great sign, is if you notice that negative inner critic has gone quiet, you're raising vibration. Now, number 11 is a growing connection to nature. So you may feel a stronger connection to nature and a desire to be outdoors more. And I know that's happened to me. Like, I absolutely love nature. It's another great way to connect to spirit. It's also another great way to get out of the ego mind. It instantly raises your vibration as you go out into nature, but it's great for also grounding you in the body and getting you out of the ego mind. And again, it's the ego that keeps us in those negative low frequencies. And I remember being a kid, like I grew up on a 5-acre farm. I grew up with our own piece of nature, and we had all the farm animals, we had little motorbikes to hoon around on. But as a kid, I did not appreciate that lifestyle. I actually wished I lived in the suburbs. I remember being like, 11, 12 years old, riding around on my bike with my friends, but I had to bike from where we were on the farm more into the suburbs and then meet everyone else in the suburbs because they were already there living close to each other. They had parks and dairies up the road, and I used to kind of be a bit jealous of that. Like I didn't like have friends just up the road or a dairy just up the road. And then now I'm living in the suburbs. I can't stand it. I want out. So that's one of my goals for myself, is to eventually make enough money to be able to move closer to nature, because my soul just has that strong desire. Number 12, the last one, number 12, is a greater ability to manifest desires. If you are noticing that you are able to manifest a lot easier, that is another great sign that you're raising vibration. And that's because in order to manifest, we've got to be operating in the higher frequencies, because that is what makes our energy magnetic and causes things to be attracted to us, like our desires. You're also, when you're operating in those higher frequencies, you're also more energy and less matter. And so because you're more energy, you can exert better results on reality. When you're in the lower frequencies, where the ego likes to keep us, that is when you're more matter and less energy. And it's not a very good place to be manifesting from, because you're not going to be successful at it because you don't have that magnetic energy. So the 12th sign is you're better at manifesting your desires and bringing it into reality. So those are my 12 signs that you're raising vibration to higher frequencies. If you got value out of the video, just let me know by hitting the like button or write a comment. If you like this sort of content, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell notification, and I'm going to leave a follow-up video here if you would like to watch it. It will show you 8 ways for escaping a low vibe funk. So if you're feeling like you're falling back into those low vibrations, this video will help you out. Have an awesome day. Peace.